Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of Weight Loss Real Talk, where all I do is cut the silence and skip the BS. Today's topic, weight loss is a way of life, not a goal. Let's talk about it. I remember the very first time that I lost weight. The feeling was fantastic. I genuinely felt like I conquered the world. And the way I did that was by setting a goal for myself, as does everyone else. And the problem is, as soon as I reached that goal, I ended up gaining the weight back. Now, you might think to yourself, what is it exactly that I did wrong? And the truth is, nothing. So why did I gain the weight back? The reason I gained the weight back is because I visualized my goal as something that was just a one-time thing. I had an image in my head where I had point A and point B. So the goal was for me to go from one point to the next. As soon as I do that, technically the journey is finished. And that's sort of the problem that occurred at the time and even now with many other people, which is also the reason why we go through this never-ending cycle of, great, now I have to lose the weight again after I just did it. And it gives someone sort of the right to think to themselves, okay, I seem to have done everything correctly, but why am I back to square one? And the reason you are back to square one is because you continue to see weight loss as a goal. Now, if you can distinguish the difference between a goal and a way of life, it becomes very clear and apparent that a goal is just temporary. As soon as you reach that goal, there is nothing left for you to do. And that's what makes a lot of people confused when they set a goal for themselves to lose weight. As soon as they reach the goal, they sort of question, awesome, I reached my goal, what do I do now? And what they end up doing is they gain the weight back as sort of a way of rewarding themselves, which in turn pretty much defeats the purpose of everything that you just did. So I would say that's typically the reason why people end up becoming overweight all over again, among many other reasons. So the big question is, how do we lose the weight and keep it off for good and still be able to enjoy life? And by enjoy life, I mean still being able to eat the foods that we enjoy with our family, etc., etc. Before I even talk about how you can do that, let me just say it is 100% possible to do that. I myself am living proof of that. I've figured it out. I do it all the time now, hence why I have the YouTube channel that I do now. So 100% possible. Now, the way that we do that is to completely change the way that we look at weight loss. Number one, first and foremost, stop looking at weight loss as a goal. I understand that I use the word goal a lot in a lot of my videos, and I'm most likely going to continue using that word. But just keep in mind, when I say goal, I am talking about completely changing your lifestyle. So again, change the way you look and think about weight loss. It has to be a decision that you are willing to make for the rest of your life to follow this specific lifestyle. If you've been following me for a while, you already have a good understanding on how to lose the weight. And in case you need a reminder, choose to eat healthy and be an active person in terms of exercise. It doesn't have to be intense, just something simple like walking. Or if you're a lazy person, count your calories, keep the consumption of junk food to a minimum, as well as add exercise in there. And that's pretty much the gist of how to lose weight. And if you already know that, then the next thing you need to do is make the commitment to where what you know now is something that you are going to continue to do for the rest of your life. Not something that you're going to do for 2, 3, 4 months, a year, 2 years. Make it strictly something that you are going to do for the entirety of your life. Now, this whole process doesn't have to be complicated, guys. As a matter of fact, if I told you to grab a piece of paper and write down everything that you do throughout the day, it is going to be ridiculously easy to discover why it is that you can't keep the weight off. I remember doing this with a friend one time. I said, hey, you lost the weight, but you gained it back. Can you at least write down everything that you do throughout the day and show it to me? And when he showed it to me, let me tell you guys, this guy was eating fast food twice a day. He did not exercise. He didn't care about his calories, so on and so forth. And so when I told him to look at the paper, he sort of came to this realization of, wow, there's a lot of stuff I gotta change in terms of my lifestyle. And that's the same thing I am advising for you guys as well. If you do the same thing, it becomes easy to figure out what the problem is. And just to sort of give an example of this, since I myself do the same thing and have been for many years, is first and foremost, I don't count my calories. Fun fact, I know I talk a lot about it, but there's a difference between someone that's reached their goal and someone who is still trying to reach their goal. That's the first thing. I don't count my calories. And the way I go about it is, I've mentioned this a couple of times in a few videos where I say, when you're about to have a meal, try to imagine a circle divided into 3 portions. And when you put food on your plate, having that in your mind, it becomes easy to create a balanced meal. And because I do that, I'm almost always going to be either at maintenance, which is fine, or in a deficit. And as far as I can tell, for me personally, I know that the portions I've been getting have been enough to maintain my weight since I've been at roughly 130 to 135-ish for many years now. If you apply that same concept to yourself and practice it every single day, it becomes so easy. I'm telling you, if you just put in the time to learn it, get used to it, weight loss will immediately become an easy way of life. The other thing that I do is exercise. I do that every single day, except for the weekend, which I'm going to get to in just a bit. So first, exercise. I personally follow a bodybuilding routine. You guys do not have to do that whatsoever. As a matter of fact, what I would recommend is just do something as simple as walking. It's easy. Everyone can do it, assuming you are still able to get up from bed. And I'd say if you can do about 15-20 minutes a day, that's going to help you so much with your weight loss. I'm not even kidding. So if you can implement that, do that. Again, practice it. Do it every day. And when you practice it every day, it becomes automatic. You don't even have to think about it. Again, it becomes a way of life. Now, last thing, I know, very popular with everybody. If I make weight loss a way of life, does that mean that you have to get rid of all the fast food, of all the junk food that you love eating? It doesn't mean that. I still have fast food from time to time. I don't have it as often as other people do, but I still definitely have it from time to time. I still eat my favorite junk food snacks. Again, not as often as some other people, but I still do. So my approach to it is sort of, if there's ever a day where I know I've been doing good in terms of progressing with weight loss, I'm going to plan a day where I go out and eat at my favorite fast food place to treat myself. And the reason that day that I treat myself is not going to affect me is because I already have the next 6 days planned to fix the one mistake I'm going to make on that one day. And it's easy because 6 days is more than enough to fix one mistake you made on one day. Willingly, by the way. In terms of snack, again, I'm pretty well in tune with how many calories I'm getting a day, mainly because I know my body already and can sort of tell when I'm already in a surplus. So on days that I know I'm in a good deficit, those are the days that I add a snack. But in days where I feel as though I've had too much, I won't snack. Simple as that. And the last approach that I take in terms of eating whatever I want, I typically try to save that for the weekend, which, just so you guys know, the weekend for me is Saturday and Sunday. So that's 2 days that I take the time to take a break from trying to be as healthy as possible and maintaining a good weight. I eat whatever I want and how much I want on those 2 days, and for the rest of the week, I am back on my routine. So that's what I do, and that's also something I think that you guys can do if you're genuine about it and are willing. So there's that. Weight loss is a way of life. So anyway, I think I've said everything that I needed to say. Hopefully you guys learned something, and if you did, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. And with that said, I will see you guys in the next one.